What is it I do, you ask? Oh, it's simple. I help entrepreneurs find their inner calm again. But surely you can't stop someone feeling really stressed and anxious when things aren't going right. They've had a relationship breakdown or perhaps a fallout at work. Get it? Life is not always ideal and circumstances are far from it from time to time. We have lots of unpredictability, but trust me, how things unfold on your outside world actually has nothing to do with how you feel on the inside. It's everything to do with your relationship from the inside to the outside that causes you the suffering. Okay, well, I can kind of get my head around that. So you're saying that even though I've just lost my job and I feel like rubbish because I've got no income, that actually what I'm feeling on the inside right now has got nothing to do with the fact that I've just lost my job. You are an emotional being that thinks. You're not a thinking being that's emotional, which means that we are consistently experiencing an array of different emotions. In fact, our emotions are our communication guide from our unconscious mind. They say to us either we're in alignment or out of alignment of our natural state. But surely anybody in their natural state, when they lose their job, would just feel angry or upset or really, really, really anxious. Well, you say that, but actually no. We're all reacting differently depending on what unprocessed past stress and trauma we're carrying in our unconscious mind. Let me explain. So this iceberg represents the mind. The top of it is the conscious mind, which is 5-10%, and the bottom one is the subconscious or unconscious mind, which is 90 to 95%. As we grow up, we all have experiences, good, bad and indifferent, and some of them are traumatic. Trauma can come in all shapes and forms and everybody is exposed to it. It's part of being human. Often when we have a traumatic experience, we don't actually get the chance to complete the cycle, we just muddle through it. And so what happens in that moment is the emotion that isn't processed gets popped into the unconscious mind or subconscious mind where it lives. As we start to grow up, it starts to signal to us through emotions. So when we go through something on our everyday life that is not necessarily good, it will trigger one of those emotions which will come to the surface and make it feel 10 times worse. So depending on where you're at in your growth and your journey will depend on how you react. If something changes quickly in my life now, instead of fearing it, I see it as an opportunity for something new that's about to come through the door. I work with people to be able to remove that barrier so they can get to that place. And I start by addressing the unconscious mind and releasing and addressing the unprocessed past trauma that is stuck, that needs completing its cycle. Okay, so then what happens? What happens is you become emotionally more competent and are able to be able to deal with unforeseen issues that do arrive in your life because you're not working from an overdraft emotionally, you're working from a credit because you don't have an unconscious mind full of past unprocessed trauma that you're just dragging through your everyday life. Okay, so does that mean then if I clear my unconscious mind up, then I'll be able to deal with something like losing my job and be able to what then? Because I still haven't got a job. Yep, you've got it. You're able to deal with something like a sudden loss of job. You're able to process it quicker and move on and get yourself in that next part of the chapter without dwelling or falling down or feeling lost or going into a deep depression or anxiety. What this does is it enables you to be able to apply for another job and perhaps end up in a better place than you were even before. Okay, so let's say I come and work with you and you do this spring clean on my unconscious mind and get rid of all this trauma that I've not processed. What happens to me then? Great question. Look, this is a journey, not a destination. And yes, when I work with people, I absolutely do a spring clean on their unconscious mind and get rid of things that do not serve them. But this isn't a way of living. It's not a quick fix, it's a lifestyle. But what you get for doing this and living this way is more energy, more opportunity, you're more present in your life, your relationships thrive, you feel energized, you're more excited, you see the good in things, you jump out of bed in the morning feeling like life's brilliant, and you don't get bogged down by the small stuff anymore. You become a life of thriving, not surviving. Now I've worked with so many different people around the globe now, taking them on this exact journey, and all of them have a common denominator. They start in the same place, which is inside their heads. But over time, working together, what happens in all cases is that destructive habits and behaviours start to dissolve. So the excessive drinking, the overeating, the scrolling, the gambling, it all starts to subside. Okay, I don't need to hear anymore. How do I work with you? So simple, just click the link above.